So, you've made the big investment in digital transformation. You've got the tools, the platforms, the data, but you're probably asking yourself, why isn't this translating into the growth I was promised? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how to turn that digital momentum into what really matters: powerful, sustained sales growth.
Okay, let's just get right to it, because this is a really frustrating question for a lot of leaders. You've poured money, time, and resources into all this amazing tech, but the revenue needle, it just isn't moving the way it should. You can feel you have digital momentum, but it's not actually turning into sales. Here's the thing. This isn't a technology problem. It's a fundamental disconnect.
And that brings us to our first big idea, the digital disconnect. This is all about the gap between owning the tools and actually using them to drive real growth. It's the exact reason why so many digital investments seem to stall out right after launch. Look, here's the crucial point. Buying new technology is just step one. It's not the magic bullet. Real lasting growth comes from execution. It's how your people, your culture, and your workflows all adapt to actually leverage those tools. So many businesses get obsessed with the system itself, and they completely miss the critical mindset shift that's required to make it all sing.
Let me give you a quick example. One SaaS provider saw their revenue jump an incredible 25% in just 6 months. But what's really interesting is that for the 6 months before that, with the exact same state-of-the-art CRM and AI tools, their revenue was completely flat. So what changed? It was never the tech. It was the team's mindset. The second they shifted from just processing transactions to using data to have smarter, more value-driven conversations, everything changed. That's the power of execution.
To really get this, we have to recognize that the entire sales landscape has been redrawn. The old maps, well, they just don't work anymore. We need a whole new way of seeing the customer's journey and, more importantly, our role within it.
This right here shows that fundamental shift. We've moved on from the old rigid sales funnel where we tried to push customers through these predefined stages. Today, it is all about the customer loop. It's dynamic, it's not a straight line, and you know what? The customer is in complete control. Our job is no longer to push a product, it's to guide a conversation.
And this is exactly why that new relational model is so vital. Trust isn't some nice-to-have feature anymore, it's literally the ticket to entry. Customers are more informed, more connected, and more skeptical than ever before. Building genuine trust isn't just a tactic, it's the entire foundation of modern sales. Period.
All right, so if the landscape is changed, we're going to need a new engine to navigate it, right? This is what we call the momentum engine, a system that's designed not just to spark growth, but to sustain it for the long haul.
And this brings us to the core concept, digital momentum. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a snowball rolling downhill. It starts small, but as you begin to connect your data, your processes, and your human insights, it gains mass and speed. Each turn compounds the value of the last. This isn't about chasing scattered one-off wins. It's about building an engine for compounding exponential growth. So what's the fuel for this engine? We call it the new trinity of growth. It all starts with data, so you can find real actionable insights. Then it's guided by empathy to truly understand your customers' pain points. And finally, it's executed through personalization to make every single interaction feel relevant and valuable. When these three work in harmony, you create an absolutely incredible competitive edge. So how do you actually put that trinity into practice? Well, it happens through a really clear workflow. You start with data-driven automation to handle all the heavy lifting. That frees up your team for guided engagement, helping them focus on the smartest next move. The whole process is about simplification, just removing friction wherever you can. And it's all wrapped in a culture of continuous improvement, so the engine is constantly getting smarter and more efficient. And the payoff for this can be huge. Take a manufacturer that was a bit slow to adopt new tech. When they finally committed, they didn't just buy software, they fully integrated their systems. Now, the initial results were okay, but over 18 months, that snowball effect we talked about really kicked in. Those compounding gains from the new digital momentum led to a 35% increase in revenue.
This all leads us to the future of sales. And let me be clear, it's not about people versus machines. It's about a powerful strategic partnership between them. Technology's true purpose isn't to replace us, but to amplify our own unique human potential. And it's so important to understand the different roles in this new partnership. Machines are absolutely unbeatable at scale, speed, and recognizing patterns in massive datasets. But we, as humans, will always win at building trust, showing genuine empathy, and creative problem-solving. The real magic happens when you leverage the absolute best of both worlds.
You see, the seller of the future is an AI-assisted seller. They use technology as a co-pilot to handle all the data crunching and routine tasks. And this freed them up to do what only a human can do: connect, understand, navigate complexity, and build lasting relationships. This hybrid intelligence isn't just an advantage. It's the ultimate competitive advantage.
Okay, so we've covered the why and the what. Now let's talk about the how. How do you actually take these ideas and make them a reality in your business, starting today?
Ultimately, this whole transformation is about one thing: unlocking time. It's about reclaiming all those hours lost to inefficient processes and low-value tasks, so you can finally unlock the full potential of your team to focus on the things that actually drive growth.
So, where do you begin? Well, the first step is always to understand exactly where you are right now. A simple workflow assessment can reveal all those hidden points of friction that are holding you back. It's the foundational map for building your momentum engine. If you're finally ready to turn your digital investment into powerful, sustainable growth, the time to start is now.